Boo, 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 boo. Hi. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my Spreecast. So, we got a few minutes before we're going to get started, which means I need to go get a drink, of course. So, hopefully, if you guys can hear me, if you can just type penis, because I'm a 12-year-old. So once again, just to make sure that you guys can hear me okay, if you can hear me, type the word penis. But stay right here. I'm gonna make my drink. Drink, drink, drink. Hi, I'll be right back. So if anybody's watching, number one, this is Mackenzie. Mackenzie is some bomb ass hard cider. But Mackenzie sometimes depending on if I don't know if it's a female Mackenzie or what, it gets lonely. So we gotta jack her up. Stay right there, hold on. Stop. Okay, that's strong. Oh, good. Hey, what's up, everybody? Out in webinar land. So, if you are just joining, I am your hostess with the mostest, Ms. Raza Diva. If you can hear me, please go ahead and type something obscene in the chat box. Penis, labia, ball sack, fuck this. Just so I know people can hear me out there. And we'll get started in a minute or two. I just want to have a couple more carrots of snacks. Yep, you got one. Hey, boo. Ooh, Razzie Raps. I like that. Oh, we got more friends. This makes me feel right. Hmm. Can we give a shout out to this weather one time? Yes, it's humid as fuck. Speaking of which, my damn hat. It's humid, but man, I'm just so happy not to be wearing a big ass coat. Not have to wear just any of the bullshit layers. Oh man. Oh. I hate me. See, this is the problem with being on Team Diva. Is because my mind is always obscene and always nasty. You don't actually. I can hear, but I can't type anything. See, this is clearly adults run this freecast and not Roz. As long as you guys can hear me, I'm fine with it. Such a hot ass mess. Ah, If you are curious, this is Mackenzie hard cider. This is the green apple. I haven't had green apple before. This shit is good as a mofo, though. Mm. I had a little bit left in here, and then I forgot. Um, but then hard cider really likes whiskey, so they're being friends right now. And I have this big ice cube that I just bob up and down, and it kind of stirs it for me. Oh, it stirs it for me. All right, so hey Dante, if you're there, go ahead, type something, just say what's up. Thanks for joining. It's so fun. And I'm gonna start my intro here. It's 8:03. Let's get you guys in and out of here so you can go and do fun summer things. So, welcome, everybody. This is your hostess with the mostest, Roz the Diva. And tonight's webinar is entitled Get Your Instabranding Shit Together. I'm sure we have all seen, heard, and unfortunately made really crappy business cards. There was a sale of Vistaprint, so you got 10,000 for $3, which is a problem. You've seen things online. You want to get followers. You want to build a name for yourself. My particular industry is pole dancing and fitness, but your industry could be way different than that. But I wanted to do this because there's just a couple of basic things which I would like to spread the gospel of things that have worked for me in terms of building a tribe and using social media, and in particular, Facebook and Instagram have helped me build it. Now my tribe is anything but huge. It's modest. I've got I think at last count about 16 or 17,000 followers between Facebook and Instagram, and I'm not sure how many of those followers are unique, meaning that it's literally 16,000 different people, or if it's, let's say, 8,000 and they're just following me both places. If I had to estimate, though, I think the unique number is there. So let's settle on about 12,000 or so unique people who give a shit about what I have to say. And I wanna talk about, like I said, my experience, what's worked for me, what hasn't, and particularly, I think it's important coming from the stage that I'm at now, because I feel like there's a difference when people talk about their success when they're already millionaires and their success seems so out there and so distant and so almost unattainable. Like, you're a different person. Like, you're looking at me when I have $3 and you really want me to believe that I'm going to have 4 billion one day. And that happens. Not to say that it can't happen, but I've always appreciated people that are maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead of where I am, because then I can realistically say, okay, you're my next couple steps. So, first, what the hell is branding? What is it? So when you refer to someone's brand or their tribe, there's actually a few things that go into it. My personal definition of this brand and of this tribe business, it's the image that you portray and how people interpret that image. So, as a basic example, Trump, I know, just stay with me. Let's say, like, year 2000 Trump. The brand was gaudy, gold, loud, bad hair, The Apprentice. Those are some of the main things that I think of when I think of the Trump brand. And, lots of Trump towers and golf courses and just money, still obnoxious, but just money. 2016, that brand of Trump for me is racist, asshole, shitface, and a whole bunch of other names like that. Dirty politician is trying to be that. So his brand, his image, his aura is what I'm going to be referring to tonight when I say your brand. Also, before I dig in any further, I'm gonna be taking my glasses on and off, so you guys don't get that annoying glare. But then also this chat box that you guys jumped into, please, please, please throw out questions, throw out comments, anything. This really does take the conversation. It makes it a conversation, so it's less like a fourth grade lecture, and it's more you're part of this. And even if your question isn't directly related to what I'm talking about, I'll find some way to weave it in, or we just make a whole new webinar about it. Sound good? Good. So, okay, so we talk about what the hell is branding. It's the image, it's the aura, it's what you portray, but it's more importantly, it's how people interpret all of those things that you put out there. How does one build a brand for themselves? I think one of the first places to start is figuring out who you are. Who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. I'm Roz, A, and I gotta put my glasses back on. I'm sorry, it's really blurry right now. I have my contacts in, but I can't. So sorry for that. So what I want to do, I've changed my mind actually about this several times. Some days I want to be the Oprah of plus size fitness. Other days I just want to fucking get hired. But generally speaking, I want to be somebody who is looked up to for her knowledge of fitness, her knowledge of pole dancing, and also somebody who's got good experience working with plus size clients. And how I figured all that out, who I was and what I wanted to put out there and accomplish, was basically by not looking for it almost. I let my squad tell me what they interpreted me to be. That's generally the consensus that I got was, Roz, we need some, particularly with plus size, we need some plus size fitness solutions. We need some answers. Or more importantly, I look at you because you physically look like me. You're heavier than a lot of other fitspo people out there. And that's where I find value, is that when you say something, I feel like, oh, okay, like you really do mean it. So part of that brand is letting others sort of tell you what do they think. Also, now, if they don't say it outright, it is me literally sometimes asking, like saying, when you look at this picture, when you look at this ad, when you read this comment, what are your thoughts? What do you think this says? How are you reacting to this? Really, really asking for other people's true, honest opinions, and not just your friends and family too. Asking strangers, people who you've never met that maybe have you might not ever meet because they live way out far away from you. Those are the people who you really want to hear from the most. You want to know from the outside looking in, what does this all look like? And not that everything needs to be dictated by outside forces and cultures, because everyone's got their own perspective. Somebody, living in Haiti might have a totally different perspective than somebody living in the Philippines versus somebody who lives in France. And they can all look at the same thing. And having that variety of opinion is what makes things great, frustrating sometimes, but ultimately valuable. So definitely one thing, here's the one takeaway, there'll be many, but one takeaway is ask other people, who am I? What do you think? And what would you like to see? What problem do you have that you would like to see solved? That is so important. Is what problem do you have that you don't have a solution to yet? When you can figure out what people fix on their own or can't express on their own somehow, that is when you get clients and customers and followers and fans, is because you figured out something that has been bugging them for a while. And sometimes people may not know just off the bat, like, oh, this is my exact problem. Here's the exact solution that I need. Please fix this. No, that's called very lucky. The business does not happen that way. Sometimes you have to, certainly don't invent problems, but you've got to dig deep into your clients and really be active and engage with them to understand what's up. And a lot of times, sometimes what they think is the problem isn't actually a problem, it's a symptom of a greater problem. In the same way someone says, oh man, I'm a total shopaholic. Like in the serious way, like I'm addicted to spending money and shopping. And being a shopaholic, that sounds like a problem, but it's not. The problem is maybe I shop because I want to feel better about the way I look, or I shop because I don't have any friends, or I'm bored, or I need to up my self-esteem, and I do it through this means. And that's what you really want to be after. It's not tackling the symptom, and your brand isn't about symptoms. Your brand is about what is the root cause of the problems that your clients may or may not be experiencing. And even if they do, again, even if they don't vocalize that as clearly as I just did, which they won't, it is your job to seek that information out and listen, and to give your tribe a platform to be heard. I'm going to test it, because I'm going to repeat that. Giving your tribe a platform to be heard. That's another huge takeaway. That's so important. I mentioned, for anybody who's just joining us or missed my earlier points, it's when you're figuring out what is your brand, what do you want to accomplish, who you want to work with, all of that. You've got to listen to people who are already listening to you, or those who aren't listening to you yet, and figure out and ask them what would make them listen to you. And this is where the second point of engagement comes into play. Now, engagement is a term that you probably will hear a lot when people, especially when they're talking about social media analytics. Engagement is everything from a like, it's a share, it's a click on a link, is viewing your website. Well, maybe not viewing the website as much, but certainly, and it's making a comment. It's tagging you in something else. It is, sending you an email. It is shit, making a phone call. That's out of the realm of social media, but that's when that's what people are referring to when you say something and someone essentially says something back. And you don't need it to literally be say it back in words. They can say it back to you in likes and comments and shares and clicks and emails. All of that stuff is engagement. And this is where my tribe, although conservative in numbers, has been really good with engagement. And I'm not always, the engagement thing is funny because I don't always set out every single post to be like, tell me the meaning of your life. Some people want that, and it works really well. But sometimes not everybody wants to write out their life story, especially if it's a space like Instagram where, writing text is a little more cumbersome than, let's say, Facebook, where, people will be doing that from their laptop just as much as they would their phone, as opposed to Instagram where it's pretty much always your phone. I digress. So now that we know what engagement is, aka likes, clicks, shares, comments, the meaty stuff, emails, how do you have content that makes people want to do any of those actions? So this is where you could probably talk to 8 people and get 25 different answers. So again, what I'm sharing with you tonight is what has worked for me. The number one way that I've been able to get people to interact with me is by being my damn self. And understanding that people aren't going to respond to a porcelain doll who is online and looks perfect and sounds perfect and has every answer. People want to see a reflection of themselves. They want to see pitfalls. They want to see success. They want to hear about drama. Not too much drama. Just maybe just a smidge every so often. But they want to know that you're a person beyond just your logo. I have, for example, how have I done that? So let's say like once a week or so, between Facebook and Instagram, or on both platforms, I share something that has nothing to do with pole, nothing to do with fitness, nothing to do with business or trying to get somebody to come to, my next workshop. It could just be some shit. Case in point, I got a whole bunch of comments on Instagram because I was, what day was it? Tuesday. I went bra shopping. And in case you need a better view, look at all this breast, son. This is a lot of boob to try and fit into a bra. Bra shopping just sucks, dude. It's so fucking annoying sometimes. Like every year, I used to not hate it as much, but every year I'm like, I'm so over this. Especially if it's on a sports bra at this point. So I just took a video from my phone in the dressing room as I was trying to try on these bras. And it was ridiculous. It was stupid. There wasn't any fancy intro to the video. There wasn't, the lighting wasn't exceptionally perfect. I wasn't talking. I was just trying to get the fucking strap onto my shoulder. And while that wasn't one of my typical You can do it. Go and kick fitness ass. People saw me as a person and not just somebody who needs you to sign up for all of her classes and workshops and is trying to get your money. I got a ton of comments. Most of them were like, girl, you just preached the truth. I had people talk about their bra shopping nightmares and why it sucked. And also, which is a really nice unintended side effect, is when people sometimes they start sharing resources with each other. Like if I put out like, man, this bra sucks, they'll say, oh, Roz, I'm a similar size than you. Go try this brand. Here's the link. Do this. Do this. And it's not just me that gets to benefit from you all sharing that information. It's everybody. So it's the tribe supporting the tribe. And although it's not just you putting out those resources, you are going to get the moral credit of, oh, let me go see, like, oh man, Roz is so helpful. She's got all these links and she's got links, she's got resources. Oh, this is great. When truth be told, those links and resources and shared things, they're coming from everybody. But they're coming under the commonality is you. It's your page, it is your brand, it is wherever, like, you brought those people together. So I want to pause here for a second, let some of that stuff digest. I got a couple of comments here. Oh, hey, Amy! In case you guys aren't sure, Amy is one of my super homies. She's on my Dangerous Curves. That is the plus size pole dancing competition that I started a few years ago. Her curves are just bananas, son, in case you don't know. So excellent point. I know some people who need to understand this. Oh, man, yes. And moral credit will be my new saying. You guys are lucky because in situations like this where I don't have like a written out speech, well, I never did. You can just get some one-liners like moral credit. That's fuck that. That's called branding. If there's another way for me to talk about what the hell branding is, it is moral credit. Okay, because your brands can either be super strong or super shitty. Sometimes it goes back and forth and back and forth. So I want to also remind you guys, if you guys have any questions out there about anything that I've spoken about, you don't have to wait to put them out. Anytime you want, throw it out there. As I said before, I love your questions. I love your input because that makes the conversation richer. And this is an example on this particular social media platform that this is engagement. When you guys type a comment, even if it's not a question, even if it's just a comment, that is a form of engagement. I want to talk about what engagement is. I want to talk about why it's important. It's because one, it helps to build your brand. Two, and this is sort of getting into the nitty-gritty of things, when Facebook or Instagram or somebody else sees that there's a bunch of people who are clicking, liking, commenting, whatever, they're more likely to share that with other people. We've all got those pseudo creepy requests after we do a Google search for, let's say, cookie dough ice cream without chocolate chips. Because that is, if I had to think of one thing besides free liquor, it would be cookie dough ice cream without chocolate chips. I would just fuck that all up. Anyway, so when you do that one Google search and then like 2 months later, you just magically see an ad for ice cream, cookie dough ice cream without the chocolate chips. Yeah, that's because everybody's paying attention. And I don't mean in that creepy big brother way, we're all gonna die, shut up, whatever. They're paying attention. And this is where, from your perspective as the person who's trying to build and establish a brand, you want people in Facebook and Google to pay attention. because the more attention, they're going to say, oh, other people are probably looking for this too. And that's when you get a different set of eyes that are looking at you. So it's not just hoping that your friends like it and share it, but it's really the people outside of your immediate clique. That's what we like. Cool. So we have talked about what the hell is branding. We have talked about engagement. What does engagement mean? And some different ways that you can do that. And I want to keep talking about different ways of building engagement. Once again, likes, clicks, comments, shares, emails, the whole shebang. This is a simple thing, but you know who does this best? Freaking Lux ATL. This bitch, and I mean bitch in the best way possible. This girl will put out the simplest questions on her Facebook page, like, what is your favorite color sock? And within an hour, she's got 70, 85,000 comments of people answering what their favorite color sock is. Now, does your favorite color sock really mean that you're going to go and sign up for her next workshop? Yes and no. Now, obviously, she's not peddling socks. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, Lux ATL is a fucking branding sensation right now. She's getting bitches to just throw money at her hand over fist. She's goals. She's branding goals, quite frankly, and she's done so fairly quickly in the last like year and a half or so. She has a very loyal tribe. Like, you say something bad about her and they'll fucking kill you. Kind of Illuminati situation. So again, she is everything I want to be from a branding and social media following standpoint. And I've noticed, like I said, she does this almost every day. Just poses a simple question. Sometimes they're as innocent as, what color sock do you want? Other times it is, like, if you could change one thing about your fitness life, if you could do something like, what's one thing that scares the shit out of you? And this is such an excellent way of learning about your audience and learning about them besides just customers, how much money they're going to spend, customers, how much money they're going to give me. But you're learning about them as a person. You're getting on to people on a personal level. And by asking an open-ended question, aka a question that doesn't have a yes or no answer, she's giving people, her tribe, a platform to tell her exactly what their thoughts are, their buying patterns are, their just all of it. And that is so valuable. Other ways of, let's call this maybe a little more indirect engagement is I definitely ask people for questions, and I'll ask open-ended questions, but sometimes I'll just put something really opinionated up on Facebook, particularly on my Facebook page. Sometimes things, I sort of treat Facebook as like a mini blog because I don't want to actually have a regular blog because I'm too lazy to keep it up. But when I just have some profound thought, I will post it there. And when I do that, if usually because I've taken some sort of like definitive side or definitive opinion, then tons of people jump in. Sometimes the jump in is just a comment that says, yeah, me too. Sometimes it's another paragraph of stuff. But again, is giving your readers a reason to give their voice. That's exactly what the fuck you want to do. They're not just gonna write you and say, Roz, I did it. I did this whole analyzation of your brand or anything. Let's talk about what I found out. No, hell no, it's not that easy. You have to be sneaky about it and get that shit. Here is, though, a question. So similar to Lux's questions about, like, if you could XYZ, tell me right here, post a comment. So one thing I like to do on a weekly basis, a loose weekly basis, is to ask people what have been your health and your fitness accomplishments this week. And I try and keep it pretty open because I've known for the last 5 or 6 years now that I've got everybody from super crazy fitness buffs that follow me on a regular basis, but more often than not, people who they're not your traditional athletes. They don't have the same athletic schedules. They're not obsessed and hardcore as we are. And so a goal for one person might be, well, I just deadlifted 400 pounds, where a lot of other people might be, I walked my dog instead of, sending somebody else to do it. And, it was a quarter mile, but I wanted to stop in the middle, but I didn't stop. So giving people a space to feel equal to one another and to voice and to feel good about themselves, that's so important. And here's the kicker. These are some of my most engaging posts because I respond back to every single accomplishment that I ask for. I don't care what it is. I don't care how small. I don't care. I mean, I've had posts where I've literally had to make 50 separate replies, but man, does my engagement soar because not only do I give people a space to voice their opinion, but I acknowledge it, not just with a like, but clearly I will have to have read what they wrote, meaning this isn't some nameless person sitting behind a computer. Now I'm a person who says, good job walking your dog. That's so great. I'm proud of you. Or, man, I want to deadlift a fire truck tomorrow. That is my goal right there. So just a little bit of comment like that. That's how you're going to build engagement. Also trust, especially if you're selling a service like personal training or you want to teach some type of workshop or a course. People get to know you before you invest money, before they invest money. And when they trust you, when they understand how you think and your opinions and things, you're going to get the right clientele coming to you. So I'm going to pause for a second because we got a great question. Imuna, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Hey! So Imuna writes, hi Roz, are you still working for a company or strictly for yourself? I am trying to find the right way to weed myself from corporate America where I am now. It is hard because I have two in college. Woo, hoo, 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 hoo. This question is fantastic. It is fantastically complicated. Again, you ask 3 people, you're going to get 7 different answers. But here's my thoughts on that. Yes, I work about 50% for myself and 50% for Incredible and Body and Pole. Those are the 2 pole studios that I work out of, and that's where I do my group fitness classes. The other 50% of the time is I'm a personal trainer, and that's where it's more traditional fitness that you would see. And there's a smaller like boutique gym that I work out of, but it's different from other big gyms where you always know when people walking around and seeing they need a quota and need to get all these clients. No, every client that I get is not because somebody gave them to me or because I have to fill this quota. It's because I need to make rent. And going the solo route in that regard has been challenging beyond belief. But I would never ever change it for a second. And for anybody who doesn't know my story, real quick, because this shit could go on forever. I I used to work in nonprofit. I work with Black and Latino children, or not children, college students, and I was a career coach for them. So my entire job was make sure you don't put stupid shit on the internet so you don't get fired, which is exactly what I did. Make sure your resume is up to date. Make sure you sound professional. Make sure you look a certain way so when you go to this corporate American job, you get all this money and you win. Which at the time I loved doing that work. and at the time it was great. But then when some of my employers found out about this whole poll situation, they're like, so you gotta go. So long story short, I got fired from 2 full-time jobs, and since then I have, after those firing, I went through a year and a half of being just in a complete financial shithole. I was on food stamps. I was on unemployment. I paid rent on my credit cards, which 5 years, almost 5 years later, I'm still paying off. And my credit fucking tanked. But with even with all of that, the fact that I like what I'm doing right now, I love my job. I've got I've got 8 of you fabulous people on this webinar. I wouldn't change it for the world. Now, I do want to make a point to say how ridiculously lucky I am because I don't have other people to support. So if I was a parent or if I was caring for someone else, I would not be able to be nearly this selfish and make nearly the dumbass decisions that I have because I can't afford that risk because other people are dependent on me. But what I think, Immunity, you're actually in a good position because if you've got 2 kids in college, it's one thing when you've got a 3-year-old and you've got the next 20 years to figure out, okay, I gotta pay for this, we gotta get school, we gotta get college, do all that. Shit, your kids are in college, you're on the way out. I of course don't know your financial situation, nor is it any of my business, but what my immediate thoughts were, this is a good time for you to start making a plan, maybe to jump ship from corporate America and into whatever that you're looking to jump ship towards. My ship was fitness, and it was rooted in pole dancing. So I think you're in a unique position where maybe you don't just up and quit your job tomorrow because that shit is crazy and stupid when there's tuition bills. But you can certainly make a plan so that way when some of those bills start to subside even a little bit, maybe, and you'll have some room where you can dip and dive and you can go and live the rest of your life, because at that point your kids will be adults and hopefully they'll be able to support themselves a little bit more and they won't be relying as much on you. So that was a great question. So keep these coming, guys. I fucking love them. So okay, so far we've talked about what is a brand. We've talked about uh, engagement and why that is important for your brand and what it means. And so now I want to talk about, this is shifting gears a little bit, less about content, and it's more about things like this. Behold, this is one of my several business card designs. I'm going to hold this up right next to my face. I know you can't read things like here, and yeah, we're going to talk about that why. Oh, look, no glare. That's better. Yay. So, one thing that has been very powerful and successful for me is offline branding, which I'm still going to call Instabranding because I don't mean literally just Instagram, but just like quick in your face here, kind of a takeaway branding situation is uh, whether you post things like this online as a picture or a JPEG, or you get a business card physically printed and handed to your clients and your customers, or those who you want to be your clients and your customers. There are a lot of things that people get wrong that my fine arts minor, which I minored in college, drives me up a fucking wall. I'm gonna rip myself apart first, and then I'll show you some other examples of things that I think are just a hot mess. So we've all is online like, hey, come take this class. God knows, if you follow me for 10 minutes, you'll see like 10,000 different notices of classes that I'm doing or webinars or something. And these things they're endless on the internet. And this is where we get less content is certainly important, but now let's look at like the physical aspects of things. So first, colors. Colors. So I know the coloring isn't great now because we're on a shitty webcam. But as you can see, first, I like getting things printed business postcard size because I'm obnoxious. But second, uh, we'll see. We've got this great pink background. We've got Diva, nice and big here. You see, look at this leg extension. That's sexy. Yeah. But all this here, you can't read that. That's not good. Now, if you're holding this in person, yeah, I can make it out. It's pole coach, overzealous MC, workshop leader, first lady of sacred, body and pole groupie, group fitness junkie, saxton woman, pancake aficionado. All that shit is cute if somebody can actually fucking read it. So one of the problems why you can't read it is because the colors is bright on bright. Now, I'm a color whore. I love bright. And when I was designing these online, I thought, oh, this is cool. I like this. And then when I saw them printed, it was a little bit of a different story. I realized that this text up here actually got lost, especially from your perspective right now, where you're not looking at this in person. But if I posted this exact same image online, the green ink, which is what this is, and the pink background, you'd be like, you want to visually throw up because it's bright on bright. Now, notice though, with the white text, even if you can't exactly read what this is, because it's blurry over a webcam, you still know there's something there. And this is my contact information. Also, you can clearly see where Diva, this bright ass white, now this is also bright, but it's not as psycho and as super coloring as this green up here. So this is incredibly important that your colors are contrasting. Contrasting colors. That means black and white. That's the basic example of contrasting colors. They'll be much easier to the eye to look at, and it'll look a lot less like you picked up kid pics and started doing this. So I want to talk about don't worry, I've got more business cards to show you. I'll show you another one of my half shitty ones. I actually really like these a lot. No, this one. So Exhibit A. This is one of my favorite whole pictures. And I got these turned into business cards, clearly. I'm doing a half jade in case anybody's curious. Side note, what's cute about this pose is that non-pole people think it's supposed to be this, but pole people know, nope, I'm upside down. And so I actually had the joy of turning these cards around to people literally saying like, oh, that's really cool. And I'm like, no, no, no. And they're like, oh, shit. Okay, so besides just having a cool pose, one thing that's also good about this is that you can see my face and I'm smiling. I'm happy in what I'm doing. If you are selling a service, people don't want to see something generic like this. Now, no hate to sustainable initiatives. This looks great. And there is absolutely no hate towards Brandy, so please don't come at my neck. But this image here, over here, sorry, camera's backwards. Yeah, there we go. This image right here, this couldn't be any more generic of a drop of water falling onto a pond. I don't know what the fuck that means. This card, you at least know we're going to do some crazy acrobatic shit. It makes sure that people don't have to work very hard to understand what to do. Here, you're going to have to read all this to understand what the fuck this water droplet means. And in some cases, that's not a horrible thing. If you're going to have a more traditional job route, if you're an accountant, you're not going to show you're not going to put this on and say like, I'm going to do your taxes. That doesn't make any fucking sense. But if you're particularly in an aerial or any kind of fitness, something that is highly aesthetic, and you get to do cool shit like this, use this, okay? Now, this picture is far from perfect. One, it looks like the what is this? The curtain has a boner. I saw that, but I wanted to do it anyway because my legs looked great. I also took it upon myself to make this like a sepia tone. I don't know shit about sepia. I just know it was pretty, and it was better than the color version that I had. So, would I make it another sepia tone card? I don't know. Maybe. Or I would probably just ask somebody who actually knows about colors what to do. This is okay. So here we have, this is another iteration of my business card. Every time I do business cards, which is about once a year, I always change the design because I just want to. So here, okay, we got a high-res picture going. I know it's still not great over webcam. So I got this high-res picture. Again, even if I'm not smiling, you can see my face. You can see it's a really fun pole pose. You know I teach something physical. Flip it over, and now I was so damn hyped about this. I like my font. I like that it was mirror image. I said, oh, I'm cute. I'm cool. No one's going to have a card like this. And that's cool. But again, there is a whole bunch of flaws here. Number one, I had to cram in all this contact info up here because I just wanted all this space for the diva, which is okay, but then I don't like how everything is just like here. And then if we do a little flipperoo, which I did on purpose, I don't even know if you can read what that writing is in yellow. Obviously, that says diva here, but it's actually coming up a little more generous on this camera than it does in real life because it's not that bright. Because again, it's bright on fucking bright. You can't even see what the smaller text on top of the D says. It says award-winning pole dancer, expert certified instructor. Hey. But if people have to work too hard to read that, they won't. And listen, the general public is fucking lazy. And it's not because they don't care, it's not because they're bad people. They're just fucking lazy. So you have to accept that and you have to adapt around their laziness. Don't make it hard to find your email address on something. Don't make it difficult to find your website, your social media handles. Let the information slap them across the fucking face. Oh, look! Here is an excellent example. So, first things first, here's the front of the card. And I got this, I met this fabulous woman. Her name is Ann Kilzer. And Ann, clearly, can we guess what business she's in? Ann likes to tie-dye clothing. Oh, look, is that a sports bra? That tells me she probably does some kind of clothing, artistic, active wear. And the colors are great. And here's the back. Not a whole lot of bullshit going on. She's got her logo. She has her name at the top. And then she's got, what does she do? She is the designer and proprietor and head diva in charge of this shit. And then look at the bottom. This shit is fucking brilliant. Do we see how simple and how similar her website, email address, and her social media handles are to follow? One thing that I just don't get, don't is when people who are trying to gather more followers and build their brand are inconsistent among their platforms. What that means is if I'm Roz the Diva on Facebook, I'm Roz the Diva, that's my website. Roz the Diva on Twitter, Roz the Diva on Tumblr, Roz the Diva on Flickr, Roz the Diva on Instagram. Because when you have 18 names across 10 sites, people may not know what your nickname is. They don't know to look for Luscious Golden Star 85. They don't know that. They don't know what your Twitter is. Like, please make it obvious, especially if you're trying to sell something or build people. If they can't find you, if they don't know you exist, they don't know to hire you. So you've got to be consistent with your name. The only thing that is inconsistent is my email address is rosalind.mays. And that's because I had this long before Roz the Diva, when I was still thinking that I should have a regular job. And I couldn't have employees emailing Roz the Diva when I was trying to go to work in pants and a suit. Now I don't give a fuck. But so yeah, so that's the only thing of mine that I wish I could change, but everything else, consistency is so important. So I'm gonna pause for a second. I want to open this up to any questions that you guys have. I'm actually going to look, I'm looking right now. I actually reached out to everyone and on the Facebook invite, asking them about what particular questions, things that they wanted me to cover. Because again, this webinar isn't for me to just talk. I mean, it's great practice for me, but I want this to be something that you go back to, you refer other people to. That's what matters to me. So let me see some of these questions here. How about getting new followers on IG? Another question, how do you balance posting enough to keep your followers interested without feeling like you're clogging their feed? And another, last but not least, third question, I often wonder about posting my personal life versus my professional life. All so important. So one, the first question about how do I get new followers on Instagram? So I've had Instagram for probably about 3 years now, and all of my followers have been so organic, meaning I haven't paid for advertising on anything yet. Um, and what is happening? How do I do it? How did I get to the number of followers that I'm at? Um, One, all disclosure, I did get very lucky that I got a lot of media attention last year. And when you get media attention and when you get it through the right channels, and when people put links to your shit in the articles and interviews, that's when your followers grow. It isn't, and I've learned this the hard way. Like for example, I was on Essence.com. Essence is probably one of the biggest magazines that focuses on Black women, like in the history of ever. Like if you are chocolate colored, you know Essence. Even if you don't read it, you know everybody who does Essence. So when I got on Essence's website, I was like, this is so fucking dope. But there were no links to my website, to social media, to Instagram, none of that. So it's almost like you know what it's like? It feels like when you walk into a store and you see this new spring outfit on the mannequin, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so dope, I want to buy it. But you don't have any of those clothes actually in stock. And you're like, what are the odds that you're going to come back a second time when they have that outfit in stock? Probably not. You're going to move on to the next thing because something else will snatch your attention. And it's the same thing or very similar with, with social media. So every time you post something, let's say on Instagram, for example, make sure that in your Instagram profile, that you've got links to all of your other, your Facebook, website, something like that. Now, in terms of followers, let's say if you don't have, Essence or another, major publication pick up your story or get mentioned in it, make sure, no, not make sure, I'm sorry, that's not the right sentence, is it looks great, when you've got 100,000 followers and you might be feeling on top of the world. If you have none of those followers liking, commenting, sharing, squawking about whatever you've posted, then the number of followers you have is far less important than if you've got 5 really loyal ones. And I'm going to say that one more time. So your number of Instagram followers, it's great if they're engaged. If you've got, a good percentage rate, which can, depending on the size of your company, it can be anywhere from 5 to 50%, meaning 5 or 50% of the people who follow you are actively engaged in whatever you're doing. They like, comment, follow, something, share. It's so that, generally speaking, if you've got but 200 followers right now, and you feel like, man, how the hell do I get my name out there? Put out good content as if the New York Times is already picking everything up. What I have found is each time I get a new Instagram follower, first of all, I stalk them just because I'm curious and I'm vain. And then two, I'll see most people don't just go back and like the first thing. I've had people go back weeks, months, shit, even like a year or two worth of posts just to see what you're about. And the same thing, I do the same thing. When I don't care how many posts someone has if I want to follow them or not. Before I hit that follow button, I'm gonna check out, like, what are they about? Even just from looking into the things and, getting an idea, that's important. And when you have people like that who have a genuine invested interest in following you and what you're doing, that is more valuable than having 100,000 people who don't know shit about you and that won't ever comment. That's a hard thing, and it's hard because it's slow. This is I didn't snap my fingers and end up with 6 something thousand Instagram followers. Right now, Instagram about like almost 8,100. But it's been like 3 years, like I've said. And even with a big media push that I've been fortunate to have, that's still, I look at some other of my other pole friends who got 50,000, 100,000 followers. So I'm looking at my 8,000 like, really? Like, am I supposed to be excited about 8,000 followers? Um, but when I look at people who have accounts bigger than mine, so bigger followers, if we both have 50 likes on our respective recent posts, it's a much bigger deal that out of my smaller squad, I've got 50 people engaged versus if there's people with this huge database of people that they could draw from and they only have the same 50 people engaged. 50 people out of 1,000 is more valuable than 50 people out of 100,000. And that answer sucks because it pretty much tells you, Dante, that there is no quick way to follow, and that it's easy to look at somebody with a lot of huge numbers and say, oh man, they must be doing all these great things. No, it's getting people organically. It is also thanking them when they like you, just little things like that. That's how you're going to get followers, and also encouraging other people to share your shit. And sometimes telling my squad, like, hey, squad, I need your help right now. Can I would love for everybody to share your favorite picture of me here and go. And what this does is it gives people a reason to be engaged with you. And it also, now they have a role. They're not simply just sit back and, you know, and listen to whatever I say and, buy my products and click on this thing. Now what I'm asking for them, I need your help. Please help me out. If you have, if you've been listening and engaging and supporting people and supporting people's comments and their likes and what they're doing on their profiles, they're gonna trip over themselves to share your shit. Like I am constantly floored with how much support I have from people that I've never even met, but they've liked stuff or they see that I like their picture and they're like, oh my God, Roz liked my picture. Like, oh my God, it's Roz and she knows who I am. They're the ones who, when you do make that trip to their town and you are trying to fill your workshop, they're going to go so hard for you, it's going to blow your mind. They're going to bring the 4 or 5 extra people, which is the difference between a loss and a profit in our pole industry. And so it's grooming people for future success. And that's what a brand is all about. It's grooming people because very few people, they're not going to come to my page and say, how can I give Roz all of my rent money? Hmm. No one, maybe like 1 out of like every 5,000 people says, here, Roz, take my money. Most people come because they're curious. They want to learn about you. They want to know what you're about before they hand over their money to you. Hence, building a brand. And this Instabranding term that I used actually in the title of this webinar is probably would change it now because there's nothing instant about it. I just liked the term Instabranding and I was really excited about that alliteration, but that's not an alliteration. I was just really excited about how it sounded, but truth be told, it is anything but instant. It is long haul. I remember when I had 300 followers on my Facebook page and I did this short little contest. Contest meeting, send me a 30-second video of you polling and I'll give you a free 30-minute private lesson. So it's nothing that, cost me money. It didn't cost them money. But the chick that won that did it, she is now one of my longest running clients. She drives me home after class, which is really great. And if anybody living in New York City, you know what it's like to get a ride home and not take the train or the bus. We have been friends now for years, and I've watched her grow. She's watched me grow. She's excited about where I've gone, and so it's that now you're not going to be able to do that with 6,000 people, of course, and I certainly haven't. But that is that's an example though of even if it's 300, even if it's 50 people, you treat it like those are the most important 50 people of your whole life because those are the ones who are going to be going hard in the fucking paint for you. And they're the ones who are going to introduce their friends to you and their friends' money and their friends' disposable income. And when you've got other people marketing on your behalf, that will get you clients 10 zillion times faster than any shit you can do yourself. And it's the same thing. If someone says, dude, this dude is really fucking hot, Roz, go on a date. He thinks you're hot too, go on a date. I'm like, ah! But if you just like blindly meet someone, you never heard of them, you don't know who they are, your friends don't know, everyone's like, good luck. So that's how I feel about that. It's 9:05 already. I want to make sure that I'm addressing everything that people want me to talk about. Of course, you've got to go. I said it's going to end at 9, but I'm on a roll, so I'll hang out as long as you guys want to. Just a few other quick questions that I'm seeing here is, one thing. So Amy's asking, do you get your printing locally or an online company other than Vistaprint? Great, great, great question. I use Next Day Flyers. One more time, and I'll put this in the comments box. Next Day Flyers. I have used them for about 3 years now, and I've never looked back. Their prices are ridiculously awesome. I got $1,000, not $1,000, oh gosh. I got 1,000 business postcards printed for like $50. Which if you don't need it, like, if you need it the next day, they'll do it for you the next day. And I've had things rush shipped, hold your breath, send like a Sherpa to go pick them up. I've had that done. But Next Day Flyers, they're easy to talk to. They also, for those of you who need it, they have an East and a West Coast office. So that means when you need something in New York, the next day you don't have to wait for it to ship out from Los Angeles. it's gonna come from Jersey. I mean, shit, you can even go pick it up in the office, the printing, if you need to. I haven't because I don't fuck with Jersey like that, but you could. Um, I've also found, Vistaprint is cool when you start out. I feel like everyone starts there with some kind of Vistaprint cards because it's Vistaprint. It's easy. They have ads everywhere, and they're like, get 5,000 cards for $3. If you have nothing, that's cool. But when my brand started to grow up a little bit, and I had, like I said, 50 extra dollars, it is so worth it to upgrade into a little higher quality than that generic Vistaprint. I could tear this with my eyelids kind of cheapness. So that's a great question, Amy, and that's a good next day flyers. That's a really good resource. Um, another, Vistaprint is not good for art prints. Yeah, it's not. Truth be told too, if I was doing like super basic cards and I didn't need to have a picture of me, hanging off a pole, it'd probably be a different story. But if you're doing something visual, this is where it definitely it counts. I'm so happy that I answered your question, Dante. Thank you so much. And I see you too, Razzie. Ooh, Razzie Rax. I like that hat. I stalk people who follow me. So let me tell you about stalking people who follow you. So because when I get a couple new followers each day, it's not like here's 800, like I'm Beyonce or something. So I have the liberty of checking out everybody's profile. And I get to say, because that also gives me insight into who the hell is following me and why on earth would they be interested. And you get to learn just a little bit about people from there. And I think the last thing I want to talk about that somebody had mentioned is the personal versus professional posts. I my ratio is for every like 5 business posts, I try and put up 5 or 6 business posts. I try and put up one post that is just ignorant and just nothing to do with anything. Um, part of my branding, funny enough, is me drinking, which is a little bit fucked up. Uh, but since I'm not afraid to talk about a good cocktail. Cocktails are fucking great. And for every webinar that I've done, I've had a different cocktail. So this is also part of my branding. And while cocktails don't really match with gym, or not at the same time at least, this is something that's humanizing. Now this is taking me, like me having a sip, I could be drinking, like ionized coconut water, and that's all right too. But I really fucking like whiskey. And for people to see my imperfections and that there's a person beyond this, that's going to build up trust. And when there's trust, people's money follows. They're not going to give their money or their attention or their time to people who they don't trust, and they're not going to want to follow you. So, and like I said, I try and vary up. Like maybe I'll take out of a week, let's say 7 posts. 2 days, 1 or 2 days, I'll try and ask a question, an open-ended question. So, what did you do for working out this week? Or, tell me about an accomplishment that you had recently. Open post. Another post will be maybe just a picture. Maybe just a picture of me doing what I'd like to teach other people to do, whether it's a pole move or something else. And that that's not about selling or hawking something specific. That's just, let's put it out there. Let's keep it easy. Especially following it up. If you just had another post, your post right before that one was all about like, tell me about your childhood. That's a heavy post. So yeah, I'm gonna put me in like a bikini or something afterwards because it's just a hot picture. And sometimes, if you guys have heard the like clickbait, quite honestly, yes. Sometimes I put up some hot picture just because it's clickbait. And I know if I need to up my engagement, I'll do that. The difference though is that between me and other people who do it is I call myself out first. I'll say, look guys, this is just, I was just feeling myself and that's why I'm putting this picture up here. And again, that honesty is what people are like, you know what, I'm feeling myself too. and they do that and they follow suit. And then so that's about 3 or 4 posts for the week. And then I would also now is where I would start hawking something. So going back here, like doing an online flyer of sorts like this. This is where I'd post this and I would talk about upcoming workshops or something that I was doing, and maybe even having a call to action, telling people, listen, I'm not saying you have to come to my workshop, but I would love if you told someone else about it. People, they like that. Like when you say, like, just tell someone, because that doesn't mean, it doesn't cost them money, it doesn't really cost them time. It's a click, it's a simple share. And that's what you want. You want to multiply the number of eyes that see your shit. Your network is only but so big until you tap into your network's network. And they do that by sharing, tagging their friends, all that good stuff, that engagement that I talked about. So I'm going to stop here. I think, I certainly hope that I've hit up. Oh, one last question. The frequency of posting. So this changes on different platforms, but my rule of thumb is Facebook, my business page, I try and do one, but I max at 2 posts per day. My schedule posts, so I do 1 post in the morning, let's say like 6 a.m. I know people are waking up, checking their phones on the way to work, and then I'll maybe do like an evening post about something. And then on Instagram, I usually just do 1 post a day. Sometimes I'll even take a break, like a 2 or 3 day break from either one of those, because it's one thing to put something up to continue content. It's another thing to just throw up shit. And you don't want to just throw up shit just to have something, because then that's when it looks disingenuous and it's just like, ugh, like this is just so generic. So unless you guys have any other questions for me or comments, I'm going to finish my drink. I'm going to make a sandwich because I'm hungry and I've been training people all day. As always, you can go back. You can rewatch this. You can rewatch this at any time. I'm also going to be shifting away from Spreecast, this particular service, and going to be doing. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do for next month yet, but I'll tell you as soon as I can. Hit me up, rozthediva.com. Email, Instagram, not email, fuck, website, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Flickr, everything. Go ahead, Rozadiva. Thank you guys so much for all of your chatter. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Dante. Thank you, Razzie. Thank you, Imuna. Everybody else, there's Danae, and then there's 2 alien visitors. Thank you for those as well. And hit me up anytime, and I can't wait to see you guys later. Where's that one? Bye.